So now so this should be pneumatics update number 2. So now how it is when I want to activate tailstock, I press this one, and this means center out. So when I press, center goes out and only one relay is active, so it activates and deactivates. And before this version of control I made only by pure luck, I think, to tailstock work in way that both, so I could get tailstock to go out like this, but in way that both solid relays are active. And when both solid relays are active, that means that current flows in this valve and in this valve. And if current flows all the time inside this coil, inside this, it means that it will heat and it can become pretty hot. So now I'm thinking about idea to update air pressure, because these are air lines for tailstock, and these are all original fittings, and you can feel that air is so I unplugged this, so now pressure is low. So sometimes when I plug this tube and I hold it for, I don't know, 20 seconds, and when I remove my finger I can feel that some amount of air is going out, but really small amount. But point is that it's not ideally sealed, so little amount of pressure can go out. And so now I will show how this works. When I press this button, it means activate, I don't know, is it this one or this one, but air will go through this fittings. So I will until the tailstock hits the sensor. So I need to, so tailstock went in position when sensor for sensing my variable limit switch is activated, and in macro is written that when this sensor is triggered, you need to deactivate this relay and cut current flow to valve. So this I will try to show one more time. So need to when I want to retract tailstock, I need to push on, so inside of this is air cylinder, and approximately in middle is piston, and when I want to push tailstock inside, I need to apply air on this side, and this side need to be open, so pressure builds up in this section and it moves complete tailstock inside. So that means that through this tube will air flow. So I will unplug it so this tube is out, and I will activate and as we can see I need to and when tailstock is inside, what now? When tailstock is inside, sensor triggered deactivation of valve, so I can now unplug both. So this one goes up, I will put it here, and other one goes down, and I have now pressure in my system, but valves are closed, and that means that here I do not have any air. So I cannot, if I'm very strong I could pull this out, but it's pretty hard, it's big friction. So point is that tailstock in this way works, but it depends only on air pressure which is inside of air cylinder. So when tailstock is positioned in point which I can adjust by moving this, so inside on this block are sensors, those two wires are sensors. When tailstock magnet is inside, and when that magnet triggers read relays, tailstock will be stopped in some position and supply of air will be cut, and pressure or force with which tailstock pushes part in chuck depends only on air that is trapped inside. And as I told, fittings are old, tubes are new. I bought new tubes, but these fittings are old, and seals inside of tailstock assembly also are old, but they are in pretty good condition. So thing is that it will be good to add to macro function that pressure, that air is updated. And so I made button for activation of valves and for deactivation of valves, so I can show that. I just need to plug this all the way. So this is plugged all the way, and I will so this means tailstock is in. So now I will activate tailstock out. So tailstock is out. Okay. And as I showed before, this valve and this valve are not active. So good thing is that they cannot overheat. That is, I worried about that. If I actually I do not know how it should work. I'm assuming that logical is that it does not to be under power all the time, because when I put hand on this, I see it's very hot. So here those two solid state relays are not active, and that means that this valve and this valve are not active. And I made, so tailstock is in this position, I made buttons that activates, so it's not possible to see. I made button that activates both valves in same time to show what will happen. So what will happen? So tailstock is in same position. Why? Because on this side of air cylinder and on this side, so between is piston, is applied air of same pressure. So same force is pushing tailstock in this direction and in this direction, and because of that it is on place where I left it. So before version of macro for controlling tailstock, I programmed just by pure luck. I was happy that it worked. The tailstock moved, but I noticed that it became very hot. So it is possible to control tailstock in a way that both valves are active. And the thing is, after I think for 5 or 10 minutes, it will become very hot. So now I will see what will happen when I try to retract. What will happen? So I'm trying to retract. So I need to first to deactivate and okay. So I can extend, activate valves. So I need to incorporate or something like that. I need to build this function. So I will show what is this activate valves. It's operator web script file, open file. So this is simple. Activate signal output 7 and output 6 are those two solid relays that controls this pneumatic electromagnetic valves. So I need to add this. So it does not want to focus. I need to add this part of code to tailstock file, open. Activate signal. So let assume that this is part of, I think I know it's part for controlling tailstock, but I'm not sure is it for controlling to tailstock go out or in. So I need to add previous simple 2 commands for activation of relays here. So to update air pressure in system, and it need to update. It need to be turned on only for, I don't know, 1, 2, for 3 seconds, and probably every 5 minutes. So update air pressure every 5 minutes for 2 or 3 seconds, and you need to do that only. You need to do that only if this sensor is active. If this sensor is not active, that means that you are in this position, and when you're in this position, there is no need to update air pressure in this. So I will try to do this. And I forgot to show, so I removed this tube. So I remove this tube and this tube, and I wanted to show when I press activate valves that air will flow through this and through this. So what? I discovered something interesting. So I discovered something interesting. So my theory about updating air pressure is not it's not okay. I need to think little bit. So I expected when I press my button activate valves, so when I activate valves, I expected that I will be able to have air flow through this port and through this port, but as we can see, so no air is coming out. So I need to figure out my theory. So it looks it will be just demonstration of how this works. I'm not sure is this possible to make. What was my idea to show what is going on. When I press this, I can activate airflow through one. So I press the activate valves. When I press this, I will activate this one. Deactivate. And when I want to activate both, so it will be shown here. Activate both. There is no air. No air is coming out. So I do not know, is it possible to make update of fresh air under fresh pressure to tailstock cylinder. So what I did now, I retracted tailstock, so, and pressure is relatively, I can say high, little less than 5 bars. And what situation I have now? So tailstock is retracted, and that means that I have on this side pressure, for example 4 bars, and I think that some part of air can pass to this side. So we have left and right side, and it passes to right side, and right side is connected with this tube. So As we can see, part of air is so higher the pressure in tank, the more the pressure is going to escape through this side. So because of that, I had idea about updating air pressure in tailstock cylinder. So supply of air, so on this side, so in this tube I have same amount of pressure as on left side of tailstock cylinder, and part of that air is escaping to right side and it's coming out to this tube. So when I plug this tube here, in case of ideal sealed connection, air should not escape, but as I think nothing is ideal. Nothing is ideal, so okay, so let's see what will happen when I unplug this lower. So when I unplug this, so what happened? There is no counter force on this side. All air escaped and there is no pressure that will generate equal force to this side, and because of that all air on this side moved piston to the left and tailstock extend to the fullest. So what I concluded that these fittings must be, so you need to have new tubes, and I don't know, this is probably, no, this is not probably, this is 100% original fitting, so it's 25 years old, and inside of this are small O-rings, I think, that goes around the tube, and inside are small brass close that holds tube when you push it inside. So when you push it all the way inside, and when you pull it out, small close inside are holding tube. So I have limit switch triggered because I passed. So this is my first sensor, this is my second sensor, and I even passed my second sensor. So I came to my second sensor and reset is still active. So I came to my first sensor, and sensor for what I did, I actually connected my sensor from tailstock on Z minus limit, and I copy copy pasted in my screen editor. So this LED is same as this LED. And why I did that? I did that because if I have situation that part is not firmly gripped and chucked tailstock, in maybe it's possible to push part inside of chuck, and it's possible that I start to machine my tailstock, and in that case if that happens, limit switch will be triggered and this will go, system will automatically go in reset, so I will not be able to turn my tailstock. That was my idea. So now I can press reset and I can retract tailstock. So I guess for now I only figured out how this work. I thought it's possible to activate both valves in same time. And interesting is how I managed to make macro that operate. So both in before version, in the earliest version of macro for controlling tailstock, I made macro in that way that both solid state relays are active all the time, and only one of those two is deactivated for, I don't know, short amount of time, and when tailstock hit the limit switch on tailstock, it activated again. So it was logic to, so when one was not active, probably air could escape through opposite valves or something like that. I'm not sure even how I made it. But now how it works, I guess it's how it worked originally over emco controller. So this is update 2 about tailstock configuration, how it should be, or if you have any ideas how you think it should be, and you could see what you can expect. It's not easy to control if you do not have all connected, and if you do not have buttons like this, so you can control only one, or you can control both, deactivate both. So hope this helps someone who have doubts and questions how to control tailstock of emco turn.